Yes? Oh yeah, he's there. Playing chess with himself, I guess. Kazuma. I thought it wouldn't be long before you paid me a visit, Ryunosuke. I was right about what I said, wasn't I? Sorry? You haven't said anything to me. And that you have all the makings of a great defense lawyer. I feel like I haven't seen you smile in this. Well, I always believed that you'd fulfill your dreams of advocating in the British courts. I just never imagined for 1 second that it would be as a prosecutor.
Seeing you stand in a foreign courtroom, so gallantly realizing your dreams. Kazuma-sama, I'm truly happy for you.
And I'm truly thankful for you, Judicial Assistant Mikotoba. Man, call her by her name. That's such a mouthful. Even I call her by her name. Ryunosuke. I always thought it would be fun for you and I to shake up the British legal system a little together. This isn't quite how I envisioned it. Oh yeah, I said it right. Envisaged it? Is that how you spell envisioned? Whatever. I suppose it's just another twist of fate. I've learned a lot of things during my time in London. About how Susato-san's father was himself a visiting student here once, along with Judge Jigoku. And about what happened with your father. Then you'll have no difficulty understanding why I had no choice. Why I had to find a way to get to Britain as a visiting student myself. There's no explanation as to why I'm here. I want to hear from you, Kazuma. As you wish, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Don't say my full name! Come on, man! Come on, man! Should I examine first? No, I'll talk to you first. It's getting on for a year now, since what happened on the SS Buria. Buria sounds like cheese. That's the end of my thought, apparently. We were heading across the ocean from Japan to Great Britain. When a bizarre series of coincidences led to those tragic events. Yeah, you don't even have the red headband anymore, Kazuma. Put that on. I thought I'd lost my best friend forever. Yeah, well, we cried over you, dog. Pay me for those tears. I must have been unconscious for a long time. When I awoke, I was lying on a bed. It was a narrow little room. There was a posy of flowers by the pillow. It took me a little while to realize that I was in the cabin of a ship. I slipped out of the room and headed up onto the deck. Were you already suffering from amnesia at that point? Yes. I didn't know what had happened or where I was. There was just this voice in my head. You have something you have to do. Something no one else can know about. Go to Great Britain. Your task waits for you there. So, wait. I don't know why I laughed at that. It was a calling I couldn't ignore. It compelled me relentlessly. Out on deck, I saw that I was on a huge steamship and we were docked in a large port.
It must have been Hong Kong.
Yes, it must have been. Presumably just before they were due to carry your body off the ship. I had no idea of the situation, but I did have the feeling that this was in some way my last chance. So I concealed myself among the disembarking passengers and went ashore. And then I disappeared into the crowded streets of that foreign port city. Not being able to speak a lick of Chinese, but you know, I made it. How did you survive without knowing any Chinese? Unless he knows Chinese, in which case he's a very talented man, but so I could plan my onward journey to Great Britain. Just under a year ago, with all my past memories lost to me, I was left behind in Hong Kong. Everything was foreign to me. The sights, the sounds, the smells. My head reeled. I was truly at a loss. The smell of that dish called sticky tofu. I couldn't comprehend it. Oh wait, that's not, I think that's a Taiwan dish, that's not a Hong Kong dish. Anyway. I realized now that I escaped as a dead man, with nothing but the clothes on my back, and no money, of course.
Oh, how terrifying for you.
Luckily, though, I had 2 feathers in my cap. Did you sell them? Oh. Oh. It wasn't physical feathers. One being your knowledge of English, I suppose? That's right. And on the back of that, I was able to pick up some work as a deckhand on a cargo ship. Eventually, after calling at countless ports, I finally arrived at Dover. It must have been some 3 months ago now. Your formidable tenacity of purpose showing itself again. I mean, the man had lost his memory and had literally nothing to his name. But he still managed to make his way to London on the opposite side of the world. Of course, I had no idea why I'd move heaven and earth to get there at this point. So, how did you end up becoming Lord Van Zeek's apprentice then? That can only be called an extraordinary stroke of luck, really. You see, I was stopped at the border because I had no papers. They took me straight to Scotland Yard. And by sheer coincidence, Lord Strongheart was there to attend the meeting. That's when the second feather in my cap came into play.
Would that have been your knowledge of the law?
Oh my god. Yes, exactly. Lord Strongheart was curious about an Easterner with an intimate knowledge of the British law. He took me back with him to the Supreme Court and assigned me to the prosecutor's office. Maybe, I guess stowaways aren't like a normal thing here. Because if you were a stowaway on a large cargo ship of some sort, why would you be taken to a police station? Wouldn't you be? Isn't there like a border department or whatever you call it or something? It's just weird that you take it to like a, I don't know. Maybe Scotland Yard's much bigger than I think. And then 9 days ago, I'm a masked man. You finally got your memory back after the trial involving Drebber. Yes, I did. Ever since I first met you at Yume, you talked about your dream. Mark my words, Ryunosuke. I'll be chosen as a visiting student and make my way to Great Britain someday. Did you know the entire time about what happened to your father here? 16 years ago.
You baby! Oh my goodness!
He reminds me of Neji for some reason. Neji from Naruto, even though he doesn't look anything like Neji, but something about the hope in his eyes makes me think of him. When my father left on that exciting trip to Great Britain, I was just a boy. We took a photograph together the day before his departure. It was my last memory of him. Y'all like cameras? Y'all like cameras back then? But when I remembered most about my father, is his unswerving sense of justice. 6 years after he left, a gentleman called at our family home. He told me that Genshin, my father, had been taken ill in England and passed away. It was Professor Mikotoba, your father, Susato-san.
Oh my!
Ever since then, the professor was very good to me. He even helped to fund my university education at Yume. I'll be forever in his debt. But nevertheless, I just couldn't bring myself to believe what he told me.
Oh!
Then one day, a letter arrived at our house from Britain. There was no indication of the sender, so I opened it assuming it was from an old acquaintance of my father. What I read in that letter changed my entire life. What did it say? It said that my father had been a mass murderer, and the writer cursed the Asogi name. Oh?
Oh no!
As a result of that letter, I found out what had been hidden from me all those years. Ooh, who snitched? Was it Zeke's? Or was it someone who was trying to instigate stuff to get you to do things? Presumably, the letter was sent from a relative of one of the victims. Oh. If whoever it was had been a member of the judiciary, he could have been present at the closed trial. The letter revealed that my father had been sentenced to death, executed for being a killer. I'm so sorry you had to find out that way. I imagine the British government did its very best to silence whoever sent that letter. But someone who knew the truth and couldn't bear the resentment was always going to be a problem.
But still, it could have been written by anyone. Why would you believe such a thing?
There was a newspaper cutting included with the letter. It was the first I'd ever heard of the professor and his terrible killing spree.
Well, what did my father have to say about the letter?
I couldn't bring myself to show it to him. What? Why not? Because he deliberately concealed the truth from me by telling me my father was taken by a fatal illness. That couldn't have been easy for him, and he'd done it out of consideration for my feelings. So instead, I showed the letter to Judge Jikoku. Oh, to get him to be, so that he would get you to be the visiting student of blah blah blah. Ah, to the other visiting student. He faltered for the briefest of moments, but then he just laughed the letter off. But in that moment, I saw it on his face. He was undeniably shocked, shaken momentarily, before recovering his poise. A year later, my bereaved mother succumbed to this strain of grief, and she too passed away. Dang, Mom. Come on, you couldn't be there for your kid? That was such a mean thing to say. Dang. That's when I made up my mind that one day, without fail, I would cross the seas to Britain and seek the truth for myself. The truth about my father, Genshin Asogi. And I wouldn't let anyone stand in my way.
Oh, Kazuma-sama.
Reaper's trial. What we learned today in court turned things completely on their heads. It was an impressive piece of lawyering. Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Stop saying my full name! That's so weird! Lord Fancies isn't the Reaper, you know. I almost don't want to believe it myself, but it turns out that Inspector Gregson himself, the victim, was. It's clear that the inspector was behind the Reaper's activities all along. Well, okay, Mr. Know-It-all. Yeah, I was about to swear both times. What? You mean you knew? The real question is, who's been giving orders to the inspector? Yes, Baruch Van Zieks is the real Reaper. Oh my god! No! And I know that 10 years ago, it was him. You decided my father must be a mass murderer and sent him to his grave.
No! He was merely seeing that justice was done as the law dictates. He's not to blame.
Ultimately, it's people who condemn people. The law is just a tool that they use to do it.
My god, dog!
And when a man condemns another, he must take responsibility for his actions. Of course he must. But I know for certain that my father would never have taken another man's life. Kazuma. On the contrary, my father's life was taken by the Reaper. Oh, okay. I guess we can examine and present stuff, but I'll examine stuff first. Let's change the subject for a second. Let's talk about the things in Baruch's office, huh? Lord Van Ziek's fine collection of hallowed chalices and bottles, all neatly lined up. Yes, he's extremely particular about all that. He had a strict regimen for everything, from the storage of the casks to the bottling of their content. Gosh, he must be having a really tough time of it being. What? Sorry, I'm like tired. He must be having a really tough time of it being his apprentice. Actually. Oh? He's so particular about it all. He refused to let anybody else touch any of it. What is this pose? So it's been quite easy for me, in fact. Talk about weird. I like that he just got done being like, it's his fault that everyone died, including my father. It was his fault. He's responsible. He's a Reaper. Anyway, he was very particular about his wine. This is what happens when you talk before examining. There's Lord Van Ziek's incredibly stylish desk. It's not my style, though. No, I noticed you've been working at the little table on the floor. Kneeling down says a style. I thought it was some kind of punishment set up by Lord Van Zieks when I first saw it. Could have given you a bigger desk at least or something. That's just a little like a foot chair. I find it the most comfortable way to work. I can't do it. After a couple of minutes of sitting with my legs folded underneath me, they start to go tingly. Don't exaggerate, Ryunosuke. We both know you can't even manage a minute. Oh my god, the shade, dude! Fair though. Oh, Clint. Man, it's weird having a big giant portrait of your brother up on the wall like this. Why does he look so mad? Why does he look so evil? He looked much more handsome when he was smiling. Do you know who the man in the portrait is? Why would I? What? But you're Lord VIC's apprentice. You also gave us the photograph that has him in it, dude. Maybe he didn't know who he was. I don't know. Maybe he just saw Gregson. Oh, wait. That picture was from Gregson's desk, but still. Yes, apprentice, not friend. And during the time I was suffering from amnesia, I didn't even notice that picture. My man, what were you looking at? You were just staring at the wall the entire time? Oh, really? I mean, it's not the smallest picture. Dude! I wouldn't have the first idea what that man decorates his office with. What does that mean? That doesn't make any sense! You knew about his wine stuff, huh? That don't make no sense! Kazuma, you gotta be more observant! Especially if you have amnesia! Anyway. What the? It's a scale model of the crime scene. Oh, yes. I realized that. Does the prosecution office make a model of the scene for every single case? Apparently so. Sometimes it helps to visualize things better and notice things you hadn't spotted before. Actually, the miniature notice board is my work. You like it? Be honest, you enjoyed making that. Ah, no! I wanted to like examine it closely. Dang it. Oops, wrong button. Facts. I'm ready for this. Yeah! You scared me the first time, not this time. Ah! You disturbed the bats, did you? Fitting companions of Lord VIC's, wouldn't you say? Actually, I've seen things flying in Lord Strongheart's office too. Doves, I think. Perhaps you have to like birds to attain rank in the judiciary here. Although bats aren't birds, of course. Of course, duh. How about a sparrow for you? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, nothing. Sorry. Just thinking out loud. What? Sparrows are cute. Cask floor to ceiling, just like the last time we were here. Hallowed barrels, I suppose. They're arranged according to vintage, flavor, and region. Every week, they're all taken out and put back in order. What? Every week? Lord VIC can't seem to settle on the perfect way to arranging them, you see. Vintage, flavor, and region don't neatly coincide. That's the trouble. Gosh, being his apprentice must be a real challenge. Actually, no. Oh? He considers the task too important to entrust to anybody else, so he does it entirely on his own. So he's a barrel of laughs here and in court then. Must be an inconvenience though, because you always have to move your setup in order for him to rearrange the barrels. Man, Zeeks, you weird dog. But you do you. Alright, I'm done looking around, I guess. Alright, let's show him stuff. Let's show him. Show him the here, you wanna see this commemorative photo that you're not in? Kazuma, what do you make of this? Oh, it's probably nothing then. There's only one place where defense lawyers and prosecutors should discuss evidence. The courtroom. So it seems you're still confused by that situation. Oh my god, that's what I make of it. Oh my god, I get the feeling my friend's always gonna have the edge over me. Alright, let me do it here. This is what you wanna see. Kazuma, what do you— No? It has his fucking last name on it! What do you mean? Really sad to me. Oh, I don't want to look at this. What do you want to look at then? Am I done with you? Surely not. What else can I present? I'm gonna present everything to you. I was shocked when I found out they were related to the case. The Red-Headed League, I mean. Personally, it wasn't their plan to swindle everyone that surprised me. It was the fact that so many red-headed people gathered from all over London that day. A certain great detective being among them. I expect those two are in their cells as we speak, wishing they'd never dreamt up the little plan. Or maybe they're busy plotting their next one. The Reaper. At last, I get to take my revenge. Kazuma, Lord VIC isn't responsible for your father's death, and he's not the Reaper. He's a defendant, and deserving of a fair trial. You mean, like the one my father had? Go! It's a closed trial now, too. The conditions are exactly as they were 10 years ago. And even if it ruffles some feathers, I have a plan to show that man for what he really is. An awkward boy? Kazuma. Calm down. Oh! This came up in the trial, didn't it? As something a little dubious, I mean. I forgot about this. The fact that no time of death was recorded on Inspector Gregson's autopsy report. Yes, there were some unexpected turns in the courtroom earlier. The suggestion you came up with certainly took everyone by surprise. The idea that the victim died the previous day at some other location is quite something. He died in Chikoku's hotel room! Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm just so set on the fact that Chikoku is the one who killed him. Well, considering when the pocket watch had stopped and the scorch marks on the handle, it's certainly a distinct possibility. The evidence and the scene both point to it. To be honest, it bothered me too, so I paid a visit to the autopsy room earlier. The coroner responsible wasn't there, but I got a name. It's Dr. Gory. Yeah, well, we know the name. Duh. It's on the autopsy report.
If it wouldn't trouble you, Kazuma-sama, we'd very much like to speak with the coroner too.
Of course. The last thing I want is for anything to be brushed under the carpet. Scotland Yard's autopsy laboratory is behind Lowgate Cemetery. Lowgate by Barclay Prison, you mean? Ah, you know it, do you? The prison where my father was incarcerated and robbed of his life.
Kazuma-sama.
Well, thank you. We'll pay a visit to the laboratory later today. There we go. That was what we needed to do. Alright, got it. Ryunosuke. I want to thank you. What for? I feel like he already thanked us, didn't he? Kippa? Oh, the sword? For this. Can I have it back? I guess it's not can I have it back. Shit! Sorry, I banged my leg on the table. You safeguard the soul of the Asogi clan. Well, it is a famous sword that's been in your family for generations. It is the same sword that his father had. Probably. My only slight regret is that I never got a chance to draw it before I returned it to you. What would you have done? You would have just cut yourself, dog. Karuma is said to have been forged by a master swordsmith during the Sengoku Warring States period. I come from a long lineage of warriors, many of whom were expert swordsmen. Well then, you're a chip off the old block, I'd say. This blade, Karuma, is a symbol of the Asogi clan's honor and might. Apparently, one of my father's apprentices even took the blade's name for a surname. Really? Karuma. It does sound formidable, that's for sure. 16 years ago, when my father was a visiting student here in London, he had this sword forever at his side. Which is why it meant so much to me that I have it by my side again now too. And that is all thanks to you. It was an honor. It made me look so much cooler, and now I don't look as cool. But I get to be in that blue navy suit that no one acknowledges. Now, I have preparations to make for tomorrow. Perhaps I said a little too much. Kazuma, you've changed. No, Ryunosuke. I haven't changed at all. It is you who's changed. You might have changed a little bit. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know you. I don't know your life. I can completely understand your resentment of Lord Van Zieks given what happened. But the fact is, those events and this case are, well, unrelated. Is that what you want to say? How can you be so sure? What do you mean? Never mind. That man is the Reaper. And it's for that reason that the inspector was killed. I'm going to prove as much in court tomorrow. By whatever means necessary. I can't let you do that, Kazuma. I know you'll do what you have to do as a lawyer. But I'm sure I don't need to tell you that I won't be taking any prisoners into the courtroom. I would expect nothing less. Until tomorrow, in the Old Bailey. I can't believe this isn't a last chapter deal. This feels like such a last chapter, but I guess unless once we're done investigating here, that goes into the new chapter, and then we continue court again in the new chapter. But that can't be right. There's still a lot of unanswered questions. It's decked out with so much cutesy looking things now. Look at the little ghost there. Ooh! Wants to hold hands with the plague doctor. Oh, give me your hand! This place really is creepy, isn't it?
Well, being a dead room, it's probably full of spirits of the dissected. But actually, there's a rather pleasing scent of roses in the air. Well, being a dead room, the coroner probably needs a bold scent like that to mask the odor of death.
Iris, do you think we could change the subject? Sounds of something scraping?
What was that?
It was a shink, shinka, 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 shinka. Oh, there she be. Dr. Gory. Oh, I don't. What? Oh my god, whatever. That noise before.
I was sharpening my tools.
That doesn't look like a scalpel. That looks like a kitchen knife. That looks like a chef's knife.
I'd be dead meat if I didn't keep a perfectly keen edge on them.
Right.
When following the collagen fibers in the dermis, an expertly sharpened scalpel cuts like cheese. Would you like a demonstration? Oh, yes, please. I'd love to see. Then, I think you'll do nicely.
Huh? No. I wouldn't do it nicely at all. I mean, maybe some other time. Oh, God.
Gee.
Was that a tut? Is that what you call it? You call chiz tuts? Well, we came here to ask questions, so... Do we talk or examine first? Let's examine the room. I'll just change my ways, change it around. A table and a set of sharp tools. When you consider each in isolation, it all looks quite innocent. So why is it that when you put them side by side, they seem so horribly disturbing?
Might be best not to ponder it too deeply. That's Mama's dissection table. It's too high for me, though.
It is?
If I fell from that height in my sleep, it would really hurt. What? You mean you sleep in here? Autopsy work is very involved. It's usually too late to think about going home when I'm finished. But I have bad dreams when I sleep here, and I always end up falling onto the floor. So I'd like to exchange that table for a lower one.
Maybe you should just go home. Yeah. Oh, she was talking about this table? I was like, what do you mean sleeping on this counter? That doesn't look like a clean table to sleep on, lady. Look at all the bottles on the shelves in these cabinets. What an assortment of chemicals.
These ones here are labeled highly toxic.
Ugh, that's worrying. Because there's also things that look like salt and pepper shakers in there.
Oh yes, and they actually say salt and pepper on them. The doctor probably spends a lot of time in this room, I suppose. Perhaps she has meals here sometimes.
Life goes on, even when you're surrounded by death. This looks different to before.
Of course, Miss Naruhodo. Miss Gory is a young maiden. She has all sorts of charming little dolls and the likes around her place of work. Look.
Oh yes, you're right. Perhaps she's not so strange after all. She's a little strange.
They're how I practice.
Sorry?
Mama always says that operations and dissections require speed and accuracy. So I take out my needle and thread and stitch 3 new dolls every day.
Ah, right.
I used to make livers and kidneys or intestines, but Mama told me to make something more friendly instead. That's quite different to what I'd imagined. She sold all these plushies herself. Oh my gosh, she's so talented.
Well, look at this. What a magnificent display case. The cherry wood has been polished to a high sheen, and the intricate carvings are a joy to behold. Western cabinet makers really are skilled, aren't they?
It's 10 people.
What's 10 people? Pardon?
It's made from the bones of 10 different people, all mixed together.
Oh, the skeleton? Oh my god.
Some of my best work.
I was admiring the case, actually. The scary skeleton inside is something I intend to ignore as best as I can.
You're strange. I wonder who was the strangest.
Well, we invaded her territory, so we're the baddies here.
That looks like an owl and a crow up there.
I know. They haven't even twitched since we came in here.
Well, no, they wouldn't have. They're taxidermy mouths, Mr. Naruhodo.
Ugh, I was afraid you were going to say that. I've been trying very hard to tell myself they're just sleeping with their eyes open.
Yes, I think perhaps you were wise to put something like your Daruma doll on display in the office instead.
Have I examined everything now? I better double check to make sure. Ah, here we go. There's something new. Those large jars seem to have pale things floating around inside them. I suppose they're fruit liquors or something? Or like the pickled umeboshi plums we make back home.
Yes, let's assume there's something completely innocent like that.
Ah, that jar you're looking up there contains monkey brains.
Oh my!
The composition is similar to the human brain,
so they make for interesting study material. And in the next jar along, we have monkey.
No. No more monkey anythings, please.
If you say so. Oh dear. The time when I still thought it was just some pickled umeboshi plums seems so long ago already.
Oh, you're fine. Alright, that's everything, right? Because the last time we were in here, there was like one small thing I had overlooked. And that like set me back a bit. Okay, it should be everything though. Alright, let's talk to her. Time of death. We have actually met before. I'm a lawyer, if you remember.
You're not dead yet.
What?
So Mama said I wasn't to cut you open.
She's so strict about things like that. Well, good. Dr. Sith has some scruples at least.
Oh dear. It looks like she's not interested in talking to us. For the time being, anyway.
For the time being? You mean until we die? I hope that's a way off. Yeah? What? Sorry, but I wasn't planning on dying anytime soon. Oh. Cheh. Surely there's some less drastic way of making her listen. We have to present them to her? What do we have for her? What can we show her? I don't know what I have. The autopsy report? Sorry, I'm stretching my arms. Dr. Gory, we actually came here to ask you about this. He was very good. Good? Sorry? His skin didn't snag my blade once, and very little mess. His joints dislocated easily, and his muscles tissues was a pleasure to work with. We can skip those details. But there is one thing about the report that's caught my attention. Was that her saying that she... What do you call it? But what do you call it? What do you call the things that coroners do? Autopsy the bodied? Is that the term for it? Is that like proper confirmation that he's dead? Dang. Well, I mean, whatever. It sounds like he might be a bad guy, so I guess I can't feel too bad. You don't seem to have recorded a time of death. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Hello.
That's not my fault.
Oh, that made me jump.
Then please, tell us what happened.
Homegirl needs to go out in the sun a little bit. She looks like someone that would be like a friend of Beetlejuice or whatever. I don't know anything about Beetlejuice except from the musical that I watched, and I don't really remember much about the musical except for the fact that the main guy had a really raspy voice and he was very talented. They were all talented, whatever. So, why doesn't this autopsy report include the victim's time of death then? It's really the most crucial detail. She's got a nice design. She looks like she'd be a good design for a VTuber. Oh, she put it back. I was told not to write it. What? By whom? Mayor Strongheart, the Lord Chief Justice. He came here. Lord Strongheart came. He's sussy as hecky. He said that from the witness statements about the gunshot and the other evidence, it was obvious. The man clearly died at 5 p.m. on 1st November, when the gunshot was heard.
But that's not the time of death you wrote on the report. You didn't write anything. Was there some reason you didn't include it?
Because it wasn't the truth. And she didn't want to lie. Probably. Dr. Gory, if you're hiding something under Lord Strongheart's instructions, then sooner or later, you're going to go the same way as your mother. Dang, dog! You really went and intimidate her like that. Give it here, then. Or was she scribbling so furiously? There. You've written...
What? What she's written? Tell us!
Indeterminate.
But... What?
The details of the autopsy report have been updated. According to the coroner, Dr. Gory, an accurate estimation of the time of death is not possible. Really? Why? I've never even heard of the word indeterminate, but I guess it means that you can't determine it? Like inconclusive, maybe? What do you mean by that? Why was the time of death indeterminate? When the specimen was brought in, it was still fresh. So the time of death could easily have coincided with when the gunshot was heard. Why was she so slow in moving? Was that a frame rate issue? I don't know. But there was one small discrepancy. What discrepancy? There was some fried fish in the pocket of the specimen's overcoat. Ew. And that fish had started to rot. He'd been dead for longer than a day. What? If the victim liked fried fish, he presumably liked to eat it before it went off. Well, yes. What are you really trying to say? It's possible that someone tried to manipulate the apparent time of death. Manipulate the... Is that even possible to do? Theoretically, if you were to chill the body in ice, you could delay the onset of putrefaction. And if the overcoat wasn't on the body at the time, then only the fish would have started to rot. With today's science, it's not yet possible to determine if the body was chilled or not. But today's science is advanced enough to let you freeze a corpse, it seems. Where would you be able to... Where is somewhere cold enough that you could freeze something? Have we seen a freezer anywhere? Let me put my mind into it. Was there anything like a freezer? Was it on a ship? No, that can't be it. I keep thinking about him dying in Paris.
But surely, to chill a corpse like that would require an enormous electrical refrigerator. I don't imagine many households in London are equipped with such a device. No, definitely not. Maybe in a factory, or maybe some other special places. I don't recall seeing any factories or such like on Fresno Street, though. I wonder if the inspector's body had been chilled somehow. What might the actual time of death have been?
I couldn't say for sure. But at the most, it might have been a day earlier. No! Oh, does it only take a day for a fish to rot? I don't know. I thought maybe it would take longer.
In other words, it would corroborate your previous deductions, Mr. Naruhodo. That Inspector Gregson was killed the day before his body was discovered, at a different location.
Did you inform Lord Strongheart of this possibility? He simply said that there was no electrical refrigerators of that size in the vicinity. Is the trunk? Is the trunk a fridge? Imagine! The trunk is like a mini freezer. Oh yes, one other thing. It's something that the governor of Berkeley Prison told us. He said that your mother, Dr. Sith, was responsible for confirming the death of the professor after his execution. The professor. Oh, is she mad? Apparently you always enjoyed listening to your mother's stories about her work, so we were wondering if you might know something about what happened 10 years ago. That's not all Mama did. Sorry? My Mama carried out the autopsy of Clint Van Zieks as well. Her eyes are glimmering. What? Really? I would have imagined she did all of them. I guess not. The brother of Lord Van Zieks, the professor's final victim.
The idea of carrying out an autopsy on a member of the aristocracy was completely unthinkable back then.
Oh, right! That wasn't a thing! I forgot. They were like saying like they didn't autopsy bodies back then before him because it was like desecration to the body. And then Gregson was like, "Nah, we gotta autopsy this man. We gotta figure some shit out."
But the detective in charge of the investigation insisted and it was miraculously authorized. That detective being Inspector Gregson, of course.
What an accomplishment for one man. It's probably a setup. They probably wanted you to autopsy the body to find that there was something that would link it to Genshin.
That autopsy provided the vital clue needed to arrest the killer. And Mama was there for that historic event.
If you've never done it before, how do you even begin to like prep yourself for that? Like you just look at a dead body, it's like, well, we've never done this before. What do we do? Do we just take this kitchen knife? Like what do you do? What does all this mean?
You know, that amazing autopsy happened right here in this very room. The professor and Clint Van Zieks. They both spent their final moments before their burial on a dissection table there. So this lab, Mama's lab, was instrumental in some of the country's most important events.
She really is proud of her mother. I wonder if you tell us more about exactly what happened back then with Dr. Gore. Okay, so you can put down the scalpel and the cleaver. You don't gotta do that. You don't gotta keep doing that.
The professor's execution was Mama's first big case. She had to be in attendance at Barclay Prison's execution chamber and signed the certificate to confirm the convict's death. Mama is the best coroner in the world, you know. I was so proud of her.
But the execution didn't actually take place.
No, and worse still, Mama actually helped with the jailbreak.
I didn't want to know.
Oh dear, you found out recently, you mean? I believe in her, in Mama, but now I wonder if I'm starting down the same path as her.
You mean because you omitted the time of death on this autopsy report? But that's because Lord Strongheart forbade you from including it.
Just like Mama, I'm sure she was coerced by somebody too.
Aww. Yes, that's my feeling as well.
There's no doubt that there were more powerful forces at play 10 years ago. The execution couldn't have been staged without a lot of people at prison knowing about it. Obviously, the prison governor must have been in on it as well. The big man with the little handcuffs, according to what he told us. He was tricked by the chief warder. He said he knew nothing about it. Of course he said that. I'd say the same thing.
Just who was behind that jailbreak all those years ago? You know what? Chikoku was also arrested too, wasn't he? Was he in the same jail? It's probably him. You mentioned the autopsy of Clint Van Zieks.
It was at a time when carrying out autopsies at murder victims was very unusual. It's still not a practice that's observed in our country, even now. It turned out that he was the professor's final victim, and when the autopsy was performed, Mama was present, although only as a secondary assistant. The person leading the procedure was called Dr. John H. Wilson. That's right, my daddy!
Did we know that? Did we know that? I guess I don't have the professor info here. When did we? Well, never mind. We don't have it here. We might have had it in the last case or something. I'm about to freaking break my damn leg. Ow, that hurt. I'm trying to readjust my leg in some way to stretch it. Anyway, I don't. Did we know that? That Wilson was the one who was doing the autopsy for Clint? That must mean so that he was involved in this somehow.
And there was one other person present, the primary assistant. He was a visiting student from the Far East.
Mikotoba? Wait, a visiting student?
It must have been my father, Eugene Mikotoba.
I had no idea Professor Mikotoba had been involved in something so important. That is a pretty big deal, actually. He didn't even mention that.
But the outcome of that historic autopsy was the discovery of a vital piece of evidence that led to the capture of the professor.
So that's how they came to identify Genshin Asogi as the infamous mass murderer. But if you didn't autopsy all the other victims, how would you even, like who's, like, how, I guess they couldn't confidently say that they're all linked. It's just because they think it's all aristocracy people that they assume it was all the same killer. Man, whoever killed the previous 4 was probably like, dang, man, you're giving the credit to a friggin' foreigner, the heck, dog? Yeah, they're definitely thinking that. Do you happen to know anything about that piece of evidence? Can you tell us any more?
Would you like to see the records for yourself? Heck yeah, dog!
What? Would that be alright?
What's the point of keeping records if people can't look at them?
Hey, man, that's what we like to hear.
They're filed under V at the back of the cupboards, with the other records from the last decade.
Thank you. Heck yeah, dog. Let's go. Let's see. Van Zieks. That's strange. Oh, someone took it! No!
What, Mr. Naruhodo?
They aren't here. There's nothing on their Van Zieks.
There must be.
Perhaps somebody took them away?
No one's allowed to take documents related to the Professor case out of this room.
But you're right.
They're gone.
So clearly someone took them out of the room.
Well, when was the last time somebody looked at them?
Do you remember?
It was... Oh yes, I remember now. It was 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Consulting detective came one day, saying that he'd like to see the records.
What? Is that Sholmes? Or is it Gregson? I couldn't tell.
No. You don't mean... Herlock Sholmes was his name.
Oh my god, Sholmes!
Deep down, I knew that was coming. Do you think he stole the records? Oh no, surely not! Iris, that can't be right, can it?
Iris?
Oh no, you put Iris in a tough spot. Where the heck is Sholmes? Runo, I hope you don't mind, but...
What is it, Iris?
I've just remembered something very important I have to do. I'm gonna have to leave you now.
No, what?
This is very sudden, Iris. Well, we'll come with you then. Oh no, there's no need. You and Runo can take your time here. Bye for now then. Good luck. Definitely not suspicious at all.
Wait a minute, little girl.
Me?
I remember now.
You've been here before, haven't you?
Have you, Iris? Girl, were you involved in that?
Yes, 2 years ago, when that detective came. You were with him, weren't you? You were a living specimen then too.
That's the way it usually works, yes.
Was I? I really don't remember.
Iris.
Anyway, sorry, but I must dash.
Wait, Iris.
I'll rub a pop for you when you get home.
I can't believe she's hiding something from us. She knows that he took it. What's the matter with her? She's behaving really strangely all of a sudden. Well, in that case, we won't keep you any longer either.
It's been quite a while since I had any visitors. This was really fun. But next time you come, I prefer it if you were ready for dissection.
I can't make any promises. Sorry. It's a bit strange that the records of Clint Van Ziek's autopsy have disappeared. But I think we've asked all we came to ask now. She's cool. She's cool. It's nice to know that she's like a good person. Well, now what? Do we go back to the suite? Oh, Iris! You home there? She ain't home. Where did they run off to, you little buggers? Did we get anything new? The Asogi papers, but who do I present that to? There's something new in here. The police are still busily investigating in here then.
But Gina's nowhere to be seen. Where is she?
What is that chest? Yes, it has been blissfully quiet, hasn't it? Perhaps she's out investigating on her own, practicing what her boss taught her.
Well, I expect she'll be back before long. Shall we wait?
I don't care about her right now, actually. There's something different about this room since the last time we were here, isn't there?
Yes. We can always use the time to investigate more thoroughly.
Come on, let me go. Let me go to it. What is this? Is this a lunchbox? A toolbox? This little trunk wasn't here before, was it?
Oh, it appears to be made of metal. It must be very heavy. I wonder to whom it belongs.
Can we ask the police officer that's sitting right next to it? There were some initials on the outside. Look, why is the handle of it like crisp and then the sides of it are blurry as heck? It's TG. It's Gregson's. It's Gregson's little Casey. There were some initials on the outside. Did I say this? TG? Let's ask one of the policemen if they know how it came to be here.
Oi! What do you think you're doing?
How'd you come knowing?
That's my trunk, that is! Hands off!
Your trunk?
Gina!
Where were you hiding?
I don't know. You leave something unattended for a few seconds, and every Tom, Dick, and Harry's got his greedy eyes on it.
Well, put it away if you don't want people seeing it. Duh. Just a wild guess, Gina, but...
What? Speed it out, Watto.
Is it fair to say that you've only owned that trunk since this morning's trial?
What? What are you trying to say? Come on, this trunk goes with me everywhere. It always has. Where have you been the last year?
Try not to incur your wrath, mainly. You know, if it weren't for the initials, it actually, we could have believed it was hers because it's matching with her outfit. Let's talk about it. Or let's talk about some stuff.
You should have heard them talking at the yard now. They should be ashamed of themselves. They're saying that it was the boss who killed all them bludgers.
Ah, you mean the whole Reaper thing?
Yeah. Apparently, the boss was investigating stuff that no one else at the yard knew nothing about. Stuff to do with all them criminals what got off scot-free.
Yes, the ones that prosecuted by Lord Van Zieks who used bribery and corruption to evade conviction.
Well then obviously, it was that blooming Reaper giving the orders, wasn't it?
So huh? So yesterday all the detectives, or the police officers were all like, "Oh, Inspector Gregson, we loved you. Oh, we will find out who did this to you." And now the next day they're like, "Oh, we think that he's the one behind the killings for the Reapers, the blah blah blah. Oh, that bastard cunt." Whatever. I gave up on the whole swearing thing. Man, fickle. But why would people be suspecting Inspector Gregson of being involved in the killings? Yeah, wasn't Zeke's the one who told us about that? Did someone else?
There was a notebook hidden in his office.
What? Oh no, this doesn't sound good.
It had details about all the crimes that have been pegged as the Reaper's work.
What?
No! Did you see it, Gina? Did you see the notebook? They wouldn't flaming let me, because I'm just an apprentice apparently.
Aren't you the main detective in charge of the investigating?
But it was me who found it, and he was my boss. That's right.
Hey, yo, steal it.
I was pretty miffed about it, so I sneaked a peek at what it said anyway. Oh,
that's our Gina. Is this actually his or was it planted? I guess Gina would be the one to know. So, you managed to see what was written in Gregson's secret notebook anyway, did you? Also, shouldn't they have found this yesterday? Why wasn't this brought up yesterday?
Wait as I see it. It's my right to read what I wrote. What he wrote, I mean. And what had he written, Gina? Dates, times, places, names, and no long list of them. All details about the bludger supposed to have been done in by the Reaper. But could be an explanation for that. Perhaps it was a record of the inspector's investigations into the Reaper's activities. Exactly! That's what I said! That's the first thing you think, right? As it happens, it was full of names I recognized anyway.
Well, the Reaper's targets were almost exclusively known leaders of London's criminal underworld.
Well, yeah, but there was one name right at the end that was a bit odd.
At the end of the list, you mean?
I'm pretty sure the date against it was 31st October. Oh! The day before the inspector was found dead!
So, what was the odd name?
It weren't like a name I'd ever seen before. It was something like... Nah, it's no good. I can't remember it. I don't think it was an English name, put it that way.
It was Jigoku's dog. It was Seishiro Jigoku, dog.
Oh dear, what a pity.
Jigoku Seishiro. He was about to get his head on.
There was something else too. I don't know if it matters, but the same name kept coming off over and over. Shin, it was. Don't suppose it means anything, but...
Did you say Shin?
Eh? What? It does mean something?
Lord of N6 knew the name too. He mentioned her as well. The woman who actually did the deeds. And now, we found out her name appears in Gregson's secret notebook. This is all confusing me now. We haven't seen you in a while, have we, Gina?
Well, of course not. I've been busy, ain't I? Investigating and all that. The lads at the yards are trying to trace the boss's movements the day before it happened.
The day before? That would be the undercover investigation into the Red-Headed Leagues then.
Only the boss didn't go, did he? You found some call of what was pretending to be him, didn't you, Otto?
Yes, it was Mr. Vigil who actually went to the park on Lime Street that day, posing as Gregson.
Well, anyway, you ain't the only one turning stuff up. I've got my own ways of getting results.
Oh yeah, the doggo! I forgot about dog!
When me and your partner get here together, there's nothing we can't track down. What's his name? Toby? Oh, little Toby! He's such a faithful friend.
I completely forgot about him. So, have you tracked anything down then?
What you think, eh? Of course we have. I can't tell you though. Police business, ain't it?
Gina, I thought we were friends. Come on.
Anyway, point is, if your lot ever need any help, you know who to turn to, right? Me and the around here.
Right. Because it looks oh so hellish, honest. Gina, about your hellhound here.
Chief Inspector Toby, you mean? He's a pride of the force, he is. In Japanese, police dog means something quite different, and not altogether nice to those involved in crime. But here in Britain, it's a wonderful compliment, it seems, for a canine at least.
It should be. After all, in the Great Exhibition case the other day, it was Toby here who managed to locate Drebber's workshop. Wow, yeah, that was so long ago. I forgot that was like 8 months ago for me. Oh man, no wonder I forgot about it.
Maybe it's time for another demonstration of what this super dog can do, eh?
Do we have something the Chief Inspector could catch the scent of, I wonder? I don't know, do we? Scent of something? This? Oh my god. This? I don't know, I'm gonna point a gun at the dog. Well, Chief Inspector Toby, if you wouldn't mind having a sniff of this.
Sniff, 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 sniff. Bark! Chief Inspector said woof to that, Otto.
Yes, I heard.
I think perhaps that particular item didn't excite him very much. I don't know, it seemed like a thing. Ain't you got nothing else?
I'll have a think. I don't know. I wanted to talk about that chest. You're not gonna let me... We're not gonna talk about it? I don't know what there is for smell. Oh, there's something new here. Using a candle as a timer device. Very ingenious, I must say.
Yes, the culprit arranged it so that the firecracker would be set off at 5 o'clock, and then left.
So that loud bang was heard at precisely the moment Lord Van Zieks arrived, yes. If only he hadn't picked up that gun from the floor.
Something you probably told yourself once upon a time, I imagine.
Oh my god, don't call me out on that. Yes, I've learned that lesson by bitter experience. I would have turned and run a mile for sure.
Which may not have done you any favors either.
Okay, oh, why are they all like new things to... It turns out that Gregson didn't actually die here at all. Where on earth could he have been killed?
Well, one way or another, we must find out, for the inspector's sake. You know, you look awfully pale again today, Mr. Naruhodo.
Ugh, sorry. When I start thinking it all through, I conjure up some horrible images in my mind.
Your imagination is the culprit here, then. Most certainly guilty.
Leave my imagination alone. It catches your eye as soon as you enter the room, doesn't it?
It's such a bright color. It certainly makes an impression. Yes.
They can't possibly commit any crimes, can they? I mean, redheads stand out like a sore thumb.
I'm afraid with our jet black Japanese hair, we stand out as almost as much here in London.
I suppose that's true.
You mustn't think of committing any crimes, Miss Naruhodo.
What?
I wasn't!
I don't even know what to... Do I need to I really don't want to examine things, dog. There were details of cases stretching back over 10 years on this notice board. Yes, a history of Lord Van Zieks' defeat in court.
I don't think that's an appropriate description. Although, when you consider everything on the board, it's certainly true that all these people had a background of dubious dealings.
And in the end, of course, the board itself concealed the inspector's own death.
Oh my, it really doesn't bear thinking about.
Do I have anything that I need to... her to smell? I don't think so. I thought maybe the gun, so you'd be like, yo, whose scent do you smell in this gun? I'm gonna just try one more thing. Belcher Hellhound, blah blah blah. Pick it up, come on. I don't think this is gonna do anything. Why can't I skip this? Oh god, wrong button.
We're trying to trace Inspector Gregson's movements, so... Come on, Naruhodo, what you got?
Okay. I don't think this is gonna do anything, but... Well, Chief, if you wouldn't mind having a sniffle all this little gander. A sniffer. He might be a little too keen, don't you think? The Chief Inspector made short work of Gina there. Look what he's gone to!
Oh my! That trunk clearly still has a very strong scent! Of Inspector Gregson!
In other words, it must have belonged to him. Oh, so it does play a part. I guess it has to because it was there on the floor. It's just weird that she took it away.
Alright, it's a fair cop, I suppose.
You nearly got away with it too. Why? We saw the initials on it!
You always talk so proudly of Chief Inspector Toby's nose and what it can achieve. Did it not cross your mind that he might identify something that was right next to us? Yeah, that was a bit of a bloomer, weren't it?
That's enough now, Najida. Eh? I think it's time you told us the truth about that trunk. Oh, I didn't expect this to lead to anything. I'm glad I did it then. Cause like you saw it on his head, and I was like, maybe he'll take us outside of the building. But this works too.
It worked like that! It just went!
What are you talking about?
I know what's going on through that head of yours, but that ain't what happened.
Alright then, what did happen?
Well, like I said before, we were trying to trace the boss's movements. So I let Toby have a whiff of the boss's overcoat. As soon as I done that, he went off like a shot. Straight to that sandwich.
To a sandwich? Not to a bag of chips?
Listen, Naruhodo! I believe Gina meant the witness.
What witness? Oh, this witness? Oh, I forgot about that sandwich. I literally thought they were talking about a sandwich in that box, and I was like, oh, is that just a lunchbox? I forgot about his name.
Yeah, he had it hidden between them wooden boards of his. The boss's trunk. Oh, he stole it.
I see. He had it. You mean when they heard the sound like a gunshot and all piled in there?
Exactly. He nabbed it from the scene. Goodness. Me and the chief inspector gave that sandwich a good grilling. You know what he said.
I thought it might fetch a good price, and the chap wouldn't be needing it anymore. But that's all I did. Nothing more.
Would you honor me if the chico vide? Stealing the dead boss's stuff to flog.
So Miss Venus wasn't the only one to meddle with the scene of the crime then?
How could they? So anyway, that's how it happened. And it's a pretty decent trunk, so I figured I might as well make use of it.
Did you even open it?
Is something wrong with that, eh? Well,
maybe you and Mr. Sandwich should try to find the answer to that question together.
what? Open it!
Was it like a trouble case?
I think perhaps that trunk should be turned over to the police, don't you? What are you on about? I am the police!
Gina, if you don't mind, could we maybe examine it?
Yeah,
Alright then, do what you want with it.
thank you. We shall make a detailed record of our examination of the evidence.
Let's get that open. I want to see what's in it. What's the matter with Toby? Why is he acting so aggressively towards me all of a sudden?
Mr. Naruhodo, be careful! It must be the trunk! Ah! Toby! Oi!